Welcome to our 2021 virtual event. 2021 has offered a glimpse into the future as we heal from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, as we continue the journey to our new normal, the devastation and chaos caused by the social isolation, financial uncertainty, and emotional distress of the pandemic is slowly coming into focus. Addictions, especially to opiates, have remained an epidemic, and overdose deaths are at a record high. People are silently struggling with their mental health and addiction issues. Paralyzed with fear and having a lack of knowledge about the resources available, people are keeping from pursuing treatment. The Way Back In is a vital resource that provides healing and recovery for individuals and their families. Tonight, it is a privilege to honor our courageous staff of The Way Back In, who through the course of the pandemic have shown up day after day to help those who struggle with the deadly disease of addiction live and transform life in recovery. Thank you for your perseverance in the face of such unprecedented uncertainty. Your dedication in helping those who are in pain and their families demonstrate a resilience that inspires me. When the pandemic turned our lives and the world upside down, you are here to help people put the pieces back together and rebuild lives. Your courage has not gone unnoticed, and many lives were saved as a result of your selfless service. For all your hard work and commitment to our mission to rebuild broken lives, we thank you. Fear of COVID-19 affected us all. During the course of the shutdown, we refocused our efforts and doubled down on our outreach initiatives to raise awareness about and destigmatize addiction. We promoted telehealth services, letting people know that help is still available and that recovery is possible even amidst a global pandemic. I would like to take a moment to thank you, our supporters and sponsors. Words cannot express our gratitude for your belief and commitment to our mission, your help to sustain our vision, to create a world where broken lives are transformed one day at a time. Each and every dollar you give to The Way Back In goes directly towards helping people rebuild their lives. Thank you for your participation in our virtual Rebuilder celebration to honor our frontline heroes. Thank you.
Thank you!
Welcome to the Rebuilders celebration of 2021. Though we have to meet virtually this year, we gather together in solidarity and support for those still struggling with the disease of addiction, those who may be struggling with their mental health in silence, and those who may not know that help is available. I'd like to thank every one of you for being present tonight. We simply couldn't do the work we do without your support. You have helped us to provide services in a healthy environment to over 200 men and women this past year, despite the disruption caused by COVID-19. For many, it was the impetus they needed to rebuild their lives devastated by addiction. Thankfully, many of them are using the tools that they've learned at The Way Back In and are sober today. I'm humbled to be speaking with you about a topic so near and dear to my heart. We are asking for continued help from supporters like you to further our mission to rebuild lives damaged by addiction in a personalized, healing environment. Many lives have been saved thanks to generous, passionate supporters like you. Each dollar donated goes directly towards saving not only an individual life devastated by this deadly disease, but also healing the family and community to which they belong. I'd like to take a moment to recognize my fellow board members who volunteer their time, their efforts, and hard work to provide governance and oversight to the Way Back In. It is the board's fiduciary responsibility to secure the financial future of the Way Back In so that we may continue to achieve our mission of rebuilding lives for many years to come. I want to thank our dedicated frontline counseling staff, the incredible group of interns and our peer support specialists who have courageously continued to serve individuals in our residential treatment homes throughout the pandemic, putting their very lives on the line to help heal those afflicted begin the journey of recovery. These are the very people that start and nurture the process of recovery. The Way Back In remains vibrant and vital thanks to proactive measures such as establishing managed care programs, increased grant writing, and investing in the development of resources. We have been able to not only maintain, but increase our ability to serve those who would otherwise continue to suffer with telehealth services. While we have increased our grant writing and fundraising efforts exponentially, individual contributions are critical to help offset the cost of treatment for the indigent who have no other place to turn and may be financially unable to afford such transformative services. Again, thank you for tuning in tonight to support the mission of the Way Back In. Please know that your generosity makes all the difference and in fact saves lives. Please enjoy your evening. And once more, thank you to our courageous staff for all that you do to save lives.
I am Phil Schneeberger, and I am the program manager for Way Back In. Way Back In is a long-term residential treatment program for drug, alcohol, and problem gambling. We work with an adult population. I play a number of different roles, kind of behind the scenes stuff. I work with our house techs. I work with kind of all the infrastructure of the program, as well as run groups from time to time and work with individual counseling. Way Back In started in 1973 as just kind of a AA house. A couple of guys got together and they wanted to have some housing for folks that have, they got themselves sober. And at that point, it was primarily through 12-step community, through AA. And we actually started the house itself in 1974. And for probably the first 10 years of the house, roughly speaking, it was just kind of a AA program. It was peer-to-peer. It was not a clinical facility. And then towards the early 80s, mid-80s, it began turning into an actual treatment provider. We began bringing on actual clinical staff and licensed and all of that. And we have certainly been a full clinical program all the time that I've been with Way Back In. I started in 2000, so I have just a little bit over 21 years here. One of the things that, Way Back In that we do kind of as a structural component of our program is we think that, community is very important. As generally speaking, as folks' use increases and the addiction kind of grows, their world shrinks and they begin losing friends, they begin, family members distance themselves, they lose employment, and a lot of the things that, are in everybody's life when folks are actively using, that falls away. So what we've done by design with our ERC program, the Extended Residential Care Program, is that we really try to develop something that brings all of those aspects back in. All of our programs are houses or apartments. By design, we do not look like an institution. We are not a hospital. We're not a facility as far as that goes, because we very much believe that the community aspect of it, that the actual relationship aspect, is a big part of how people maintain long-term sobriety. And at the end of the day, that's really kind of our goal, is that. We are a very structured program, and a normal day in the life of someone in Way Back In is very busy. Our clients have to be up at a specific time, and there's kind of some early morning chores that they have to do. If they are unemployed, we then have them go out and job search. When folks first come into our program, we consider their job to be finding a job. So if you would normally work 8 hours in a day, our expectation is that you're going to spend 8 hours job searching. And then once they find employment, obviously the job becomes part of their daily structure. But the way our program is, as they begin doing the day-to-day things, the stuff that most people do naturally but falls away when people are using, we think it's real important that people have successes and that they have early successes. So our clients, when they first wake up in the morning, we expect them to be up, dressed, showered, have breakfast, things that most people do naturally. When people are actively using, it's just not on their radar. They kind of fall through their day. In Way Back In, it's a very intentional day. There's a lot of things that we do, and even though it's a large amount, each one of them is really simple. It's very basic stuff. So our clients have 5 or 6 successes before they've come out of their bedroom. They wake up at a certain time, they dress, they straighten their room, and so they have an environment that is actually nice to come back to.
Hi, I'm Nora Myers. I am a part of intake and admissions here at Way Back In. The current opioid epidemic is deadly. In the past year, there has been 93,000 deaths. It's pertaining to fentanyl, which is extremely, extremely deadly. The numbers keep rising, and I believe this is the highest it's been. Addiction's best friend is isolation. When you are isolated, you give your addiction the power, and it'll talk to you, and it will just go round and round in your head until you are starting to believe that those are your own thoughts. When you have 12-step programs, you have like a 12-step base program, you can have a sponsor, you can find support, and you can hear people that are going through the same things that you're going through, and they suggest a solution, which is really beneficial. It's really important to just have support, to know that you are not alone, and that there's hope, that there's other people who have gone through what you're going through and are able to recover. It's a very gratifying job. It's very gratifying to see people change and find joy again, mend relationships, and accept life, because life is life, and it's not always going to be great, but the fact that they're able to get through it without a drink or a drug, and then they grow from the experience, is it's amazing to see.
The Way Back In provides just that, a way back into life, to health, to vitality, to healthy relationships, to a healthy, renewed mindset equipped to set and achieve goals one has set for themselves. The Way Back In offered me a way back to myself, my ambitions, and passion for living. I had initially lost my spark and joy for life for some time, which those around me would tell you was painful to witness, because before my disease had gotten the better of me, I had been so full of energy. By supporting the mission of the Way Back In, you help to support people to receive a second chance. Many, myself included, came to the Way Back In homeless and with no other place to turn. Way Back In programs are designed to guide people back into living sober, productive lives in recovery. Our logo speaks volumes to the experience of so many people who enter our program, and contributions from people like you go a long way to fulfill that mission. One of the biggest barriers I felt that kept me from entering into treatment was the reluctance to ask for help. I fell victim to the idea that admitting to having an addiction was saying that I was weak, when the reality was that I was sick and needed help. Another hurdle was a lack of knowledge on the help that was available. I didn't know that a place like the Way Back In existed, where you can have an extended treatment experience that truly transforms your perspective on life. These barriers I experienced, and what many experience due to the stigmas and negative perceptions surrounding addiction, on what it means to struggle with this disease. That said, our fundraiser cannot come at a better time as we are celebrating the end of National Recovery Month, a month to spread awareness and destigmatize addiction for folks still struggling. We have some great items and experiences up for auction tonight. I hope that you take advantage of this electronic system that we're using this year to bid and donate generously. Help is right here at the Way Back In. And people need to know that this help is available and that it's okay to ask for that help.
Thank you for joining us tonight in celebration of National Recovery Month. We would like to extend a very special thank you to our wonderful sponsors, and especially those who are a Rebuilder Sponsor of the Year, Joy and Louverture. We would also like to thank Friends of the Way Back In sponsors, Brennan Clark, River Edge Hospital, and Paul Guerin.
And once more, we would like to thank our amazing staff for persevering through such adversity these past 2 years amidst the pandemic. It's a testament to your compassion and dedication to saving lives. And to all of you joining us tonight to celebrate recovery, thank you.
The generous contributions you have made will help build the necessary foundation of a recovery to last a lifetime.
The silent auction will remain open until 7:30 p.m., so please take your time and feel free to continue making bids. If you would like to make a contribution, hit that donate button. We thank you for your support.
Thank you to all of our sponsors.